Welcome to the first episode of the Dad and Lad podcast, vodcast, whatever you want to call it. This is slightly awkward because it's our first time of doing it. We're in a slightly squeezed space. I'm awful with technology. So I'm Hayden and this is my son.
Arjan.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Bit more enthusiasm.
Arjan.
Okay, so first episode is just going to be us two. And I'm essentially going to interview him.
All right.
So it's not just going to be a wrestling podcast, although most of it will be wrestling related, I'd assume, with people we have lined up and what have you. But we'll talk about all sorts of shit. And it's probably not the most family friendly thing because there will be a couple of swear words, as we've already discovered.
Shit words.
Yeah. So, right. So let's get straight into it. I'm going to interview you. You've never done a podcast before, so you've got to be on the receiving end before we bring people in and see how well this does. So let's think about this as a wrestling side of the podcast. What's your earliest memory of wrestling?
Well, my current memory of anything wrestling is this shirt that's doing my head in.
Well,
earliest wrestling memory. Don't know if they would have been ring highs or shows you were booked on for Southside. I remember going to them, meeting X Pac. But what was
we just took you to see X Pac, that one. We just took you for that one.
I don't really remember specifics of them, but being backstage at the engine shed, backstage at NK when you first ran that, backstage at Yarborough as well. Just being around it, really. I don't really have specific memories of early stuff. Just.
When was the first time you realised maybe it wasn't so normal? So you've met quite a few guys who have been to the WWE. The video that I put out with Cody sending you a video. When was that sort of brought to reality that other kids don't have that, whether they were wrestling fans or not, that it wasn't kind of the normal?
Right. Well, I've never really thought of it until the other year about it not being normal. I guess I always knew it wasn't regular. Like no other kids in my school even watched wrestling really, but I never really questioned it. I've never been too out and I don't know what the word is, fancy about. Oh, look at my dad, he's a wrestler. But I guess I've always been aware that it's not regular. But I don't know. It is a weird one. Like you don't really think about it being not normal because it's just your life, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's quite a tricky question because you get the same sort of thing when we speak about certain things at home, and it's like, well, it's just home life. So, other kids maybe went on holidays during the summer though, and did all the other stuff, whereas we were, or still are, pretty much traveling around doing holiday park shows. And obviously you're doing them now with refereeing for the past couple of years and now getting into being in the ring and wrestling. Was that not a little thing that maybe you felt you missed out on stuff as a kid?
Again, I never really cared. I mean, I've always loved wrestling in any form, whether doing it or being around it. I've loved wrestling, so I've never really thought about it as, oh, I'm missing out on going on holiday or I'm missing out on going to places, because even just going to Cleethorpes and going to your holiday parks, your B shows, never bothered me because I just enjoyed being there most of the time. And I think wrestling being part of my life isn't, oh, it's something I have to do. I do it and I'm involved in it because I like being around it. I like doing it. So never really missed out on anything because this is my thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I know sometimes, especially when you were a lot younger, if we had shows where it's just one show and it was an early afternoon one, we'd quite often take the car and the van and meet the other wrestlers there, and they'd go off after the show and we'd go down to the beach and take you to get ice cream or to the arcades or things like that. So there was always something where we spent a lot of summers in Skeg, Mablethorpe, Yarmouth, I can't even remember the name of half the seaside towns that we've
Skipsy.
Skipsy, um, Bridlington. There's lots of areas we've taken you to where you've been able to do other things after the shows or before the shows or whatever. So
I mean, here's the point on it just being my life, I guess. I'm trying to think of specific stories of these holiday parks. Who was there? Do I have any specific stories of being around these people? And I think for any normal person going to the beach with a wrestler and doing all this stuff, it'd be the first thing that sprung to your mind. You'd have stories to tell. But I guess it was every other weekend when I was like 4 or 5, wasn't it? So I don't have specific stories that stick out because it was an every week type of thing, wasn't it?
yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah.
But it is normal kind of for all of you that have grown up in it. Obviously your sisters and your brother as well. So there was a point in time where wrestling was difficult for you. So what made it difficult? So let's go into personal detail. Let's go into what it how it affected you.
Ooh. I mean, I don't know if it's common knowledge yet, but I am autistic as shit. So, yeah, loud noises, bright flashing lights, they don't affect me as much anymore. But when I would have been like 8, 9, or them type of years, I wasn't able to go. I wasn't able to go to the Christmas market or anything. It was just too much for me. It's probably the worst that I've had it, and I'm glad I've kind of grown out of that a bit now.
Well, it's not grown out, but you found coping mechanisms, haven't you?
Yeah, maybe, but
Do you remember what set it off? Like your big thing with wrestling? Because I do.
Ryback's pyro, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
a
would have been,
WWE house show.
yeah.
And they'd stopped doing the pyro for quite a while. And they
All right,
trialed
man.
it at this house show. None of us knew, and you literally probably shit your pants.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't shock me. How old would I have been for that?
Oh, I can't remember. I remember you were young enough because that was the same
I know.
event where we took you to the signing beforehand, and
Yeah.
you pushed past all the security
Armed
as
security.
a
Just
tiny kid.
ran past them. Yeah. Who was it? It was Ryback and Layla. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm forever thinged with their tattoo on my leg because of that. So
Unlucky.
why don't you tell the story of that? If you can, well, whether you remember or it's a borrowed
Uh,
memory, I'll let you tell the story.
I remember bits and pieces of it. So I think it was just before the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, a couple of hours
They were
before.
they were in a Toys R Us in Nottingham. And I remember there being massive queues, as there always are for these sign on, and it was Ryback, Layla, and I think literally heading to join the queue, they had the stands with their figures in, didn't they?
Probably.
I'm thinking so. So you had your Rybacks, your Laylas, whatever. You could buy them and get them signed. I think I remember them stands being there because I had to run past them to just run past everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember pushing back, pushing not back ahead. I can't speak. This is riveting stuff. This pushing ahead of everyone to get to the front of the queue, and was it Layla who said something?
So
Can't remember what she
security
said.
was there, and they said, "Oh, control the kid," or something along them lines. And your response to the security, you were about
Oh yeah,
a meter and a
no, it's
half
okay.
away
My
from
dad's a
Layla.
wrestler.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Don't worry. My dad's a wrestler. These are his friends, which I've never met these two ever. So slightly awkward, slightly embarrassing, but also really funny to look back at, and really funny to your uncles who were there. They found it quite funny, but Layla found it hilarious. I don't know if you remember,
I think
but
yeah.
they were just doing the couple of minutes, quick sign, quick hi, and everything with everybody else. And she kept waving over at you. You kept reaching over. There's a picture somewhere that I think one of your uncles took of you trying to get to her, and she's smiling and waving at you. And they spent a good few minutes with you, chatting away. They signed a video game, I think it was, you took.
Yeah, I think so.
And then what was it? You'd said that I had wrestlers on my leg.
Yeah.
And then your uncle again said, "Oh, why don't you get him to sign your leg?" security said they weren't allowed, and they did, and then now it's tattooed on my leg forever. So
Post editing, if that's a thing, get a picture up.
I'll be able to get the picture up somewhere. I'll be able to find that. So you've been around it forever. Sketchy memories from when you were younger. Let's have some funny memories of wrestling. You got any stories that might be funny to people who aren't around wrestling, and why has my laptop suddenly turned off?
Well, we can hope it's still recording. That camera will be.
Yeah.
Again, with specifics, I don't really have them, and there's not really anything to do with wrestling until recently that's I find particularly funny. But I do remember after shows, you'd invite a bunch of your mates, so like Steve, Robbie, around to the house for like barbecues and stuff.
Oh, everyone who was on the show would come round to the barbecues, yeah.
And I remember trying to sleep and just hearing things that I really shouldn't be hearing at the age of 7 coming from the back garden. Smells I shouldn't be smelling at the age of 7 coming from the back garden.
That's obviously alcohol smells. And people who hadn't showered after a wrestling show smells. There was nothing else going on.
Definitely.
Yeah, so
I mean, specific story. I remember you trying to throw a bin into the ring and getting swatted in the face with it. That was amusing.
Yep. Comes up every year on social media.
Yeah. Because it's the best thing that I think's ever come from this whole company, isn't it?
Hopefully not.
But yeah, I mean, those are little moments. You can't quite. I think I'm a bit too early to have specific stories where I remember that and I go, yeah, that's why I love being here. I think just all of it in general's enjoyable.
Was there a specific moment that made you want to be involved, whether it was when you started refereeing or, started training, or then progress into having your first match? Is there anything, is there one point that made that happen?
I mean, so with wrestling, I've always watched it, whether I can be there in person or not. I've always watched it, and like even through like 2016 to 2019 when the product wasn't great, I'd still watch it, but I'd never really wanted to get involved. I was always happy just being on the side.
Well, there was that time, obviously, after the pyro happened with the WWE show that you went to. For a long time, you didn't even come to the shows. You'd always watch them back whenever we got the footage online or on a DVD or whatever. You always wanted to watch, but you didn't want to be there in case we somehow had loud pyro and things like that. So you didn't come to them for quite a while. You always, every year, would stress yourself out and have a little tism about it, but you'd always force yourself to come to body slams.
Always come to body slams,
yeah. So, after COVID was kind of when your interest really peaked, but like specifics.
Well, the reason I wanted to like actually start training and go, why is my phone going off? I forgot to put it on silent. Clearly, I'm well prepared for this. I've got loads of stories and everything, don't I? Professional. Getting into reffing was just, I think it was just one day I decided I want to be a ref. I mean, when after training or before training, I'm speaking like back in 2016, I think at the gym just after the boxing gym.
In Highcombe, yeah.
Yeah. It would always be Kaya, Madison and Thomas having wrestling matches that weren't wrestling matches. It was just an excuse for Thomas to beat up my little sister. But I never wanted to get physically involved in that. I don't know if it's because I was smart enough to realize these weren't wrestling matches. It was just an excuse for my brother to beat us up. But I would always be ref. I do remember that. And I guess I always
The
just
videos say different. You'd quite often get involved.
I would quite often get involved, but I would also be ref quite frequently. And one day I just showed up to training and asked. I think there wasn't really any dramatic build up, that dramatic moment. I just kind of decided that I wanted to ref.
And who helped you with becoming a referee?
Mr. Danny Marks, or as I am the only one to call him Daniel, because it annoyed him one time, so I'm gonna keep calling him that.
He forever will be Daniel.
Yes.
Yep.
He is. He's very good ref. Very very good ref. And Scott Bell as well was there for a little bit near the beginning, wasn't he?
Yeah, I remember the first match he refereed. Both of them stood in the under the screens, and they watched absolutely everything you did. And Scott and Dan had both given you a ton of advice and gone through a load of little details with you. They'd had you backstage watching the monitor, and they were going through little details there. And I remember when you'd finished it, before you went out there, how nervous you were, and then when you came back, how desperate you were for feedback, whether it was things you did really well, but you were also really desperate for things that excuse me, things that you did maybe not so well. You were hungry just to learn. There was no wanting your ass kissed. You wanted to know everything, good or bad, which in this is a good thing.
Well, there's a little mini documentary about my wrestling debut coming out. I don't know when. You're the one who scheduled that, so ask him, not
2
me.
weeks
Uh,
from today. Whether we'll get this out, whenever we get this out, I don't know.
Yeah, I know there's a little moment in it where I'm about to go out. I think Harry is cutting his promo, and I'm just about to go out the curtain, and Kaya and Thomas, my brother and sister, come up to me, and I think the first thing I tell them is, if I'm shit, can you please just tell me?
Cheers, bro. If you're shit, I'll go. So a couple of things.
A couple of development points for you to go up here, sir.
Dad's filming us.
I know. I'm not one to
want all good news.
Be desperate for good news. That was a fun little moment before being backstage with my sister and brother. You can watch that on the documentary. I'm not going to spoil it. You can pay a quid.
It's on lounges where you can pay £1 and watch it early.
If I'm interesting enough to you, which I don't think I have been. First episode, ladies and gentlemen.
So with transitioning from refereeing to wrestling, was the one specific moment that made that happen, or was it something you always wanted to do? I mean, I obviously know the answer to this, or I think I know the answer to this, because I've told the story in the locker room before. But obviously, I'm talking to you. I'm interviewing you.
So, well, obviously, having this twat as a dad makes it very easy to want to be a wrestler, and he's always said, "Oh, I don't want any of my kids being in wrestling," and 3 out of the 4 of them are, so good going there, mate.
Yep.
But there's pictures of me 4, 5, 6 years old in wrestling gear or playing with my wrestling figures. So I've always wanted to be a wrestler. There was not really a doubt in my mind that it was something I would enjoy doing. But I was happy reffing. I think I would have only been reffing like 4 months, and I've always trained to wrestle on and off since I could fit in a wrestling ring, like since I could actually get in one. But it was, I can't remember where it was. Was it Skeg?
What, the road trip?
Yeah.
No, it was further north. I can't.
Bridlington.
Further north, I think, just north of Bridlington somewhere. I think it was between Bridlington and Whitby.
Maybe.
But I can't remember the specific park.
Anyway, I remember who was on. It was a holiday park show or a camp show, whatever you call them. And I'll do wrestling names here. Ben Butcher, Cousin Lenny, Hardman Dan, you, I believe someone else was on that show.
I know there was a car.
There was a car and there was the van.
And there was the van.
The van's the only important bit, so I'm sorry everyone else who was in that car. But you're not important to this. So it was me, Hardman Dan, and my dad in the van, and we were just talking. And if you don't know Hardman Dan personally, he's a babyface now, so I can kill kayfabe. He is the biggest wrestling nerd I have ever met. He loves it.
He loves to
Sorry.
learn. He loves the stories. He loves.
He's so happy to be there, and he's really good as well. And we were just talking, and we got onto the conversation that we were having earlier on this of what's it like just growing up. And I think that's where I became really aware that it was not normal, because I'm just talking there like, yeah, I got a signed picture from X-Pac somewhere, and I've got pictures with Alistair or Malachi Black or Tommy and whatever you call him. He's got like 5 different names, hasn't he? And I just, as I'm talking, I look at Dan's face, and there's just a look in his face that you can't describe, but it's just that you realise that
Dumbfounded.
yeah. And I'm just talking it like it's your story about going to the shop, right? Just normal living. Very clearly was not. And I think
Having people like Joe Legend look after you in a
yeah.
all-you-can-eat buffet while everyone else is having a food fight, and
Yeah.
all the stories of like people who then became big names afterwards, being at garden parties, barbecues.
Nick Aldis sleeping in my little sister's bedroom, which isn't as bad as it sounds.
But yeah, he was amazed by some of the stories. The video from Cody, I think, was the big one where I think even he nearly pissed himself a little bit.
Hey, I'm with your mom. I know your name too. It's Arjan. Got it?
Got it.
Nailed
Yeah.
it. Well, we miss you, and she's done all this great work for the Fight Forever tour and everything. She did a great job.
thank you.
Great mom. Great mom. So I get to meet you. I get to meet him at some point, right?
Hopefully. At some
Yeah.
point.
Hopefully down the road. Absolutely. But for now, just nice talking to you, bud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you couldn't wrap your brain around why he didn't see that as normal. If I remember right, you were like,
I think
but
it was
is.
I just woke up that morning and I went to my granddad's, and my dad said, "Oh, I've got a video for you." Oh, okay. Like, I guess that this is when I kind of realized that it wasn't normal, but it was still like not normal. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, but
I can't describe it.
world.
I'm not clever enough to describe what I'm thinking half the time, so you better get used to that. I'm kind of relying on you here to put my thoughts into understandable language. But,
wrong person.
yeah. You've got an autistic and a dyslexic trying to run a podcast. This was a good idea.
Yeah, social experiment.
Yeah. But yeah, it was in that van journey I realized I'm in a very special position here, where I don't have to pay for training. If I really want to, I can ask this twat to just drive me to the gym so I can get some time in the ring by myself and just learn. And having wrestlers around my house my entire life, I can feed off them. Just it didn't feel like I had to, but it felt like I would be wasting a massive chance if I didn't do it.
Well, that was the van journey home. I remember you saying that, do you think I'm wasting a massive chance? And HMD was like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Stop encouraging it. You know, there was already, your sister had already started wrestling at this point, and your brother had shown quite a bit of interest. And I was saying like 1 out of 4, okay, cool. 2 out of 4, oh, okay, cool. 3 out of 4, right, okay, here we go. That's you know. But yeah, there was that was the question you asked on the way home. You'd finished refereeing the entire show at the holiday park, and you then said, right, okay, I want to come to the next training session, and you've kind of not left since. You know, you come quite regular to it. So who are we blaming for you starting the wrestling journey after the refereeing journey, or while doing your refereeing duties? Who is to blame?
I'll always blame you personally.
Oh, come on. I gave you the line here for HMD.
No,
yeah? He needs the heat for this one.
He's just a fan, isn't he?
He's the one who made you realise you wanted to do it.
But I'll always blame you. You say all the time, "Oh, I didn't want any of my kids in wrestling," but you took us to all your shows. You gave us all your shirts. You had us meet all these big names that people who weren't in it would literally piss themselves to it. So It's not like you tried keeping us away from it, is it?
Tried to show you why not to do it. No, my thing always has been for all of you to just do what makes you happy. I don't care what job you do, whether you work in a bin truck or on a bin truck. In a bin truck, in it would be
A
horrible,
bin
wouldn't
man,
it?
I believe, is what
No,
you
because
mean.
women can do it too. So you wouldn't
Bin
be
person.
so yeah, you don't want to be in it, get crushed. Where you wanted to be teachers or whatever, like as long as you were happy. That's always been my thing. So I guess if wrestling as a hobby, as a potential job, makes you happy, then so be it. But it's just a worry because of some of the stuff that's been around the business, or excuse me, I'm full of gas. The obviously the injuries, which I know a bit too well about. But yeah, okay.
I'm
so
surprised you're not in a wheelchair, to be honest, mate. I don't know
well,
how
it
you've
w-
escaped that.
it was supposed to be a few years ago. That's what they wanted to do. So yeah, we survive. But it's not about me. So let's talk about what happened last weekend. You brushed over it
yeah.
quickly.
My debut. Wrestling, innit?
So we made the mini documentary, but let's talk about it. Like, you wanted to get in there, and you trained and trained and trained and pushed yourself, and with your own wages through the holiday parks and whatever through refereeing. You've paid for your own gym membership on top of training here. So talk about it.
Right, where do we start? So, first time I've ever faked hand was for that. That was a fun experience. My Indonesian heritage really came out that day. That was something. But I mean, the entire day and the night before. I mean, I never really got nervous for it. I don't know how to describe the feeling.
There was an element of nerves. We could see it in you
I don't-
because you were stimming a little bit. I wouldn't say you were shitting your pants, but there was a nerves there that is a healthy nervousness.
Like the only thing I really got lost on was, what do I do when I come out the curtain? I don't know what to do. I haven't practiced my entrance in training yet. But yeah, I mean, I already knew what I was doing a couple days beforehand because my mum had told me, and she made a really big deal about me debuting specifically at 150 to the point where I got a bit of gear made. What, 5 days before the show?
Yeah.
Literally got it on the day of the show, tested it, made sure everything was all right. So yeah, gauntlet match, always fun. I didn't have to worry about anything else, anybody else's stuff, and I didn't know how good I would be at remembering stuff, and apparently I'm
Learn on the job.
apparently I'm all right at that. I managed to remember 2, albeit 3-minute matches, but I remembered them. I'm proud of myself. Wow.
God, if there's someone here who doesn't know it's predetermined, you've just ruined their life.
We've already spoiled it. Unlucky. Kayfabe's dead. Okay, it's buried.
Okay. That little kid's crying now. You're never going to sell a t-shirt.
Unlucky.
So
put that on a t-shirt. How about that?
So okay, your mum and me would never put the pressure on you, but did you feel any pressure through having your sister, her boyfriend, and your brother there as well? Did that add to pressure, or did that make it easier? Did you ask them any questions how they felt?
When it comes to nerves and pressure, I don't think it really affected it, them being there, to be fair. I mean, Kaya's Tom was great. Jack Nodson, wrestling names, go on. He was great. Like, throughout the entire day, he was just talking to me, worked with some things, like the wheelbarrow that I did. I already knew how to do it, but he came up with the idea for the spot with it, and we ran through that beforehand. So he was good help. I mean, them being there definitely took my mind off it. Like, oh my god, what am I for? What am I? But bear. What if I do that? What if I'm awful? And then being there for the photo shoots and stuff like that was just fun. I think it made it feel more like a day out than a, oh my god, I'm going out in front of 100+ people. Don't be rotten.
I can't remember how many people were there. I want to say it was like 200.
Was it?
I think so. Something
Oh,
like that. I know there
nice.
was a couple of empty seats, so it's just under the 200 probably. But yeah, like you didn't feel any pressure through having them there. It made it easier then, essentially.
No, because they're both rotten. No, I didn't feel like I had to match any expectations to do with them or to do with you. Just go out, be me. Don't be terrible at the thing that I've spent my entire life building up to. Definitely no pressure there.
Your entire life of 16 years, not even 16 years.
Still halfway to 30. But but yeah, it's a good job I didn't speak to you at all though, because you had a horrible record of adding pressure that night, didn't you?
I may have not helped one person. Yeah, I
Yeah.
may have unintentionally put a little bit of extra pressure on their shoulders, but pressure creates diamonds.
I thought it was pearls.
Nice diamonds.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I look like a twat, don't I? I already do. It doesn't
Pearls
matter.
pearls are grown in a shell in the sea. Anyway, that's not wrestling, so
Cut that bit out.
No, nothing's being cut. We're keeping it all.
No.
Okay, so how did it go then?
How did it go? I don't think I was tragic. I got the job done. I can only think of one or two things that didn't go exactly to plan, and that's because I'm I can't say that word because YouTube will tell us off. But not completely shite is how I'd word it.
Okay. So you're happy with it?
I've watched it back a few times. Definitely not watched it back every night before I go to sleep. I thought it went well. I managed to get a good match out of Strap, so I need a medal for that. Sorry, Strap. I didn't get any. I didn't get. We're getting cancelled.
Yeah.
I didn't get any particularly horrible feedback about it. I didn't get anything bad. I was told that pretty much everything looked fine, so take it. Didn't realize how dry your mouth gets.
Oh yeah.
Very dry, very quickly.
That's part of the nerves, mate.
Is it?
Yeah. You get used to it, and over time that'll disappear. But always have a drink right behind that curtain ready for you, because yeah, you need it, especially when your matches go onto your 20-minute matches, and like with Dale, we did a couple of 40-minute matches, and if you forget your drink, you're in big trouble.
It's fine. I'll bake you little cupcakes afterwards.
So with it going forward, then what's the ambition with wrestling? Is there anything in particular, or have you got a ladder of goals that you want to climb through?
Well, if you're a wrestler and your main goal isn't to main event WrestleMania, what are you doing with your life? That's what I think.
I don't agree, because wrestling for a fan or for a performer is escapism at its heart. So you might not want it as a career. There's plenty of people out there that want it as a hobby, and it is just that escape from the stress of real life, or the escape from shit that's going on at home. And again, this is both sides of the ropes. So, yes, it's great to have that goal of, if you want to make it your career, your goal should always be main event in the biggest show on earth, 100%. But if it's not your career ambition, there's plenty of other reasons why you'd want to do it.
Yeah, but in my head, if I'm going out to do something and I'm not trying to be literally the best that you physically can be, then why even bother? In my head, that goes for everything. That's why I haven't even tried to learn to fry an egg yet, because that'll go horribly wrong.
Well, I can't teach that either. So, okay, so you've got your goal, you've got your aspiration. What in the next year? Then, what can we expect in the next year?
What can I expect in the next year?
What can you expect?
What can I?
What can anybody watching who might turn up to a show? or might want to talk to you on the street or whatever, because the more you're on shows, the more people might recognize you. They might stop you and want a conversation with you. Again, going back to your childhood, how many times can you remember being stopped in
I remember
seaside,
Cafe Nero.
in a
That was
coffee
fun
shop,
story.
in a restaurant? It's happened a lot. So if anybody stops you and wants a conversation about what they've seen you do, what to expect from you,
What to expect from me? The answer is I don't know. I'm not in the booking room.
no, but you set a goal for the next year.
Goal for the next year. Well, everyone wants to be trusted with having a title or having given the chance to have solid matches. So over the next year, I want to cement myself on the roster in any shape or form, really.
Okay, that's a pretty good
I think
goal.
that's
Very open as well,
it's
very
a
political.
decent first step, yeah. But I mean, you never know, do you? I'm not the one who decides it. I show up to training, I show up to show day, and I get told the same as everyone else does. Apart from my debut, for some reason, where I was already told what I was doing. I don't know why that was.
Most people learn a few days before, a few weeks before what they're doing.
But,
There's just the odd one where we keep it a bit quiet because we want to see their reactions. I say we. I also don't have
It's
anything
kept
to do with
quiet
the
from him
booking
as well,
either.
let's be
I
honest.
can't keep a secret. So, okay. So, any dream matches within your first year?
Within my first year, I'm gonna hate myself for saying it, and he better not be watching. But Harry Johnson, he's good. Unfortunately, he's also. Are we killing kayfabe fully?
You already have.
Yeah, we already have. He's also a nice person. All right. Hate it. Hate him for it. Prick. How can you be good at something and then actually be an all right person afterwards? Twat.
Well, look at half the dressing room. We use people for certain reason, and most of the time it's because they are good people backstage. So, there's a lot of the people back there that you love to hate as an audience, and they're
Yeah.
decent people.
He'd be a fun match. But most of the people around my age, I'd say, I had a fun time with Carter in the 3-4 minutes I was in there with him. I mean, Malika, anyone who's around my age, really, in that group would be fun.
Think older, think
I think older.
external talent who we bring in regular in your first year.
Oh, I wouldn't mind working with Tom, Jack Nodson as well. He'd be fun because my little brain would explode.
Probably, yeah.
And, that would be interesting. Obviously, working with either my brother or my sister, that's always a dream match. But I don't know if within the first year is exactly the place to have it. Again, I don't know. I'm not in the booking room. You're too crippled, so I think that one might be dead, unfortunately.
Right. Surgery soon, we'll see.
We'll see. Said him earlier, Hardman Dan. He's pretty good as well.
He doesn't like Hardman Dan, that's HMD.
HMD. Yeah. I don't know. You think I watch the products?
Yes, you do. You sit there watching it all.
Yeah, I do. That's the problem.
Okay, so if anybody out there, say you've got a friend from when you went to school watching this,
I hope not.
say there's someone who has never been to one of our shows, never been to wrestling, why should they come and watch you?
Because I'm fucking brilliant, mate.
Okay, that's not going to sell a ticket.
Unlucky.
Why should they come to a show?
Why
But again, if it's someone you know and they wanted to support you, why should they come to see you? So it's a double question
well,
there
this
now.
is I'm not good at answering questions that have meaning behind them. Why can't you ask me what like my McDonald's order is? That's way easier. So why come to see me? So I would say that I am loosely entertaining. Really bigging myself up here. You can see the way I'm thinking in the way I move. I think you can tell when something's going like really well, and you can tell when I'm enjoying myself. But you can also tell when I'm I don't know how to word it. You've asked me a really interesting question. I can't answer it.
Get used to talking. That's part of
Yeah.
wrestling.
It's part of wrestling, yeah. But when I'm talking as a promo, it's way easy. I don't really know. I mean, I've had one match. I'd say you can see that I'm enjoying myself, and you can see that I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and you can see that it feels like it's what I'm meant to do when I'm working, and I feel that. So, yeah, I'm autistic. I can't read between the lines, so there's probably something very blatantly obvious that not even I can point out. But I think that's the same with every wrestler. I think you were to ask him why should he go see you?
Yeah, you can't now.
Well, yeah, but if you had working limbs, I doubt you could answer that question on the fly like that. Really,
I'm a piece of a jigsaw, so hopefully I can offer something different to everybody else on the card, as can everybody else on the card offer something different to each other.
well, he's made me look a twat there, hasn't he? Cheers for that.
No, I just like to if that's thrown back, the way I look at it is we all are there to help the product. It doesn't matter what promotion we're there for. We're there to help that promotion in any way. So offer something different, offer something fun. You don't go to the circus because you want to see 2 hours of the same clown doing the same shit. Some people want to see the acrobats. Some people want to see the clowns come out of the car. Some people want to see the jugglers. So offer something different in each match. And for you just coming in, try and find how you can do that. Find the funny side of yourself, find the more aggressive side of yourself, find the competitive side of yourself, and make it translate with your audience. Watch your audience come in and see who you can. Right, okay, this one's full of kids, so this is who I need to entertain. This one's full of people who are older than me, so how do I entertain them? And you've got to figure out them pieces of the puzzle. So, yeah. Really quickly, we just had a camera fuck up, and
It died.
hopefully we're back again.
Just
so
like kayfabe, it's
really,
dead.
really quickly, right before you made your debut, the week before, we went on a little road trip.
Monday Night Raw 02. Very cool, very fun. I was on a cable car.
You went on a cable car, yes. That's a big deal for you.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't like heights.
I've never had a problem with heights. It's just
You've never had a problem with heights.
no, the paranoia of what if it falls and we die painfully. But that's
Which is
nothing
your
to do
problem with heights.
No, I'm fine being up there.
I'm fine being high.
Well, yeah, I'm well aware of that.
Anyway. So, yeah, you went in a cable car. What were you excited to see?
I went on a cable car. What was I excited to see with the cable car or the wrestling?
With everything. With everything. The whole day was
everything, probably. I was like a child in a candy shop, or I don't think there's another staying in that phrase. I don't know why I said or, but still.
pedo in a play park.
I'm just gonna let that one simmer for a little bit.
Yeah.
See how it lands.
See how many people feel guilty out there. Anyway.
As long as they don't open a wrestling company, we're fine.
Yeah, there's a few of them still doing
it. Anyway, on that note, John Cena.
Yep. Why was that special?
It's John Cena in it. I don't think don't need a 3-paragraph story on why John Cena is special. Getting to see him in person is something else, especially a heel Cena in his retirement. Yeah, that was something you don't ever forget. I don't think was that.
Yeah, but for you, the reason it's special, and again, I know the answer
because I'm a Cena nerd, and I always have been.
Well, it was the first guy that you really watched over and over again, wasn't it? So,
Yeah.
what was the DVD? Can you remember?
WrestleMania 21, John Cena versus JBL for the WWE Championship. Didn't main event because Batista and Triple H did. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure at one point in time you knew that match move for move.
I could probably
and
still
the
remember
promos
some of the
word
spots.
for word.
If I was watching the shows, I could probably remember what was gonna happen.
And I remember who gave you that DVD. And
Was it Sykes?
it was
It was
Sykes, yeah.
Sykes, yeah.
And he gave you a stack of DVDs, and that was the one that you just watched over and over and over again.
yes.
And we'd get shouted into your room, "Can you put that match back on?" So another match would come on, and you'd get real pissy about it because you wanted the Cena match. So you've grown up a big Cena fan,
Yeah,
a big Cody fan.
yeah.
Um,
Before it was cool to be a Cody fan as well.
so
When he had the mirror on his jacket.
yeah, it was. I mean, from as early as I can remember, you watching WWE, it was Cody and Cena. And when he left, when Cody left, you were devastated. And we tried really hard to get the figure, and we couldn't do it,
'Cause
so
he
we could
left,
sign it. And then obviously he sent that video through for you. So yeah, seeing them two live. Anything else that was pretty special about it, or you were really looking forward to, or
Bron Breakker was fun. He's stupid good, isn't he?
yeah,
He is incredible. That entire tag match was great, to be fair. Finn and Dom versus Penta and Braun. Very good match. Women's title match was, I mean, I thought it was a good match. I've seen some people say it wasn't, but screw you, I was there, I know better.
And in the cable car, you predicted predictions for it.
I think
How
I got
accurate?
the finish pretty much bang on with the double DQ. I mean, yeah, I think that match was definitely a big spectacle. Women's title match main event with one of your biggest stars as special guest ref. You don't get to see that every Monday, so that was big match. The big match feel in the arena. I don't know how it felt watching it at home, but
Yeah, it is any live event, whether it's football or whether it's wrestling. The atmosphere is always better there, isn't it? It's like even at a Fight Factory level, and this isn't just a thing to try and sell tickets. I think
please buy tickets.
we have the on demand, we have the lounges TV. You know, you can watch for cheaper on the internet, but the atmosphere is just not the same. You know, it's the same as, you know, with season ticket holders at Lincoln City, and you can watch.
Unfortunately.
Sometimes it feels unfortunately, yeah. Sometimes though, the atmosphere. You know, there's been games where we've been winning, and the atmosphere is fantastic, but there's also games where you're losing, and it's as if everybody's on that same wavelength as fuck it, we can sing along anyway.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is great. And I think that's any sporting event, any live event, whether it's a concert, a wrestling show, a football match, it's always going to be better live, isn't it?
There's something about 16,000 people in a closed off arena barking that was just pure wrestling.
Yeah, it's pure something.
Pure wrestling.
Right, okay, so anything you want to say to people? You know, if we can get this off the road and going properly, we'll maybe just chat shit. We'll be bringing people in from Fight Factory roster and hopefully beyond. It won't just be wrestling as well. If we can get it, we'll get other people in. Any suggestions, fire them through. But is there anything you want to say? Is there anything you want to advertise, which is a weird one considering
I'm your child.
Yeah.
That's very odd. And my dad has a thing for drawing. All of a sudden, it came from your tattooing, didn't it?
I came from being a teenager,
Bought himself an iPad.
and then I started.
It comes from autism, I think, is what what he originally started from. And he drew these things conveniently placed on the camera. And you can buy mine, and he gets most of it, but I get a little bit of it. And I like money, so
He'll even sign it.
yeah.
Have you got a wrestling signature yet?
I just write my name and then a little smiley face at the end. That is the weirdest thing ever, by the way, is doing signatures and taking pictures.
Just a kid from a council estate.
Just literally. That's what I said. I was talking to Kirsty about it, who I don't think anyone watching, but the people watching might know, might not know.
Company sponsor.
Company sponsor. Yeah, I could have just said that.
Yeah.
Right. So I was talking to her the other day. I was telling her about how weird it is. I think I worded it literally just how you are. I'm just a kid from a council estate. Why do you want me to sign your stuff? But it links back to that not being normal thing, I guess. Of you don't quite realize how much of a star you are to these people, even at an indie level, at a bingo hall level. You are a star to the people buying a ticket. They are buying a ticket to watch you collectively wrestle.
Yeah.
And it's really, you'd think it would be the opposite of humbling, but it really is. It takes you aback a bit, getting asked for your first
It's a
signature.
responsibility in some ways, because like I said earlier, it's that break from reality for that person. You don't know if they're having a really shitty time at home, and that kid, you don't know what's going on in their life. So when they buy your picture and you sign it for them and you spend 5 minutes talking to them, did you enjoy the show? You know, like all these sort of things, that's 5 minutes of their day that you've brought a smile to their face, and that you've made them forget about maybe what's going on at home, whether it's, you know, something as simple as they've just had or they didn't get a video game that they wanted, or you know, potentially they're being bullied at school or something. There's something going on that you'll never know, and you've changed that person's 5 minutes. So it is a big responsibility.
Yeah, it is, and we're ending that on a really deep note, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, what else do I need to advertise? Follow my social medias. I couldn't tell you what they are off the top of my head, but just search my name and you'll find me.
We'll put a link to it.
Arjan Loeve 3 on Instagram. ARJANLOEVE. Bang. I'm mint. Just Arjan Loeve on TikTok. I don't post much wrestling related at all.
Oh, you've got a Facebook page which you're not very good at managing.
Facebook is for 40-year-old women, so I don't use it. But
So you've just lost potential fans there.
What is it? I don't know it.
AJ Loeve.
Yeah, what he said.
So again, we'll put the link in the
I
the
post
video.
on it. I just didn't set it up, so I don't know the name of it. I'm really peeling back the curtain here, guys. Play this back to me in 20 years, and I will jump off a bridge. That's a promise.
So I brought the show in. You can close the show off.
I don't know. Watch again if we do this again.
Oh wait! I forgot one thing you wanted to add in. You wanted to steal from the Utopia project.
Did
you
I?
said you wanted to steal something from the guys at Utopia.
I don't know.
So it was you were going to word it different. We might have to bring that in next week because I've forgotten.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll bring that in next week, next month. I don't know. Next time.
If there is a next time, please, I'm going to say what I said to everyone backstage before my match. If I was shit, please let me know.
Right, that's a good sign off.
Bye.
If he's shit, let him know.
And let him know.
I don't care if I'm shit.
Mm.
I don't care.
Mm.
But thanks for potentially watching or skipping or whatever.
Yeah, fun.
Now go on, turn the camera off.